الحمد لله رب العالمين اللهم صل على محمد النبي الأمي وعلى آله وبارك وسلم تسليما. Alhamdulillah, brothers, we had been continuing from the book of Sheikh Abdul Fattah Abu Ghudda Rahmatullah alayh, and we have covered so many aspects of social manners. We talked about how we should be dealing with someone who is elder, if we are working with them, if we are serving foods in a gathering, and how we should treat our parents. Yesterday we talked about those things. Now today there is two small matters to deal. It is very small sections. So these two sections are regarding the situation when you are leaving your home. Then you should inform your family that where you are going. So this is also an aspect we should be taking care of. So this is nice to know that these manners, it is very common thing, natural thing that I should be informing my family that I'm going. But to know that this is a Islamic aspect, it is something very nice, that it is also desirable that we should inform our family or someone who is in our home that where I'm going. So this is what the section talks about, and the section is started with the title. It says that tell your family tell your family your whereabouts. Okay, now you see he has mentioned one incident of Qatada bin Di'ama as-Sadusi. He disapproved that if someone is going outside his house, then he should not do like going outside without telling that where he is going. So it is narrated by Imam Ahmad ibn Hanbal rahmatullahi alayh that Qatada, he went with Abu Ma'shar, another one. They went to Imam Ash-Sha'bi's house. Imam Ash-Sha'bi is also a famous scholar. So they went together, two of them, to Ash-Sha'bi's house, and then he asked his family that where is Ash-Sha'bi? So the family said no. Before the asking where he is, they asked or interrogated about where is Shabi? Is Shabi at home? They said no, he is not home. Then he asked them that where did he go? They said we don't know where did he go. Then this Qatada says that okay, they didn't tell you, he didn't tell you that where did he go? They said no, he didn't tell me. So he asked them whether he does it regularly. They said yes. So this is what mentions that if someone, this gives an indication that Qatada was a bit surprised. Imam Qatada rahmatullah was a bit surprised with this Imam Shabi's thing, that why didn't he tell the people? So this by quoting this narration, Sheikh is trying to prove this concept from the Islamic point of view, that we should be talking and telling our family that where we are going. And then that's the third one is respect the poor people. Okay. He said that if you come across someone poor, then you should respect them. Okay. Out of poverty is not a defect or a fault to be ashamed of, while lack of kindness and generosity is, meaning that poverty is not a defect or it is not a fault to be ashamed of, but lack of kindness and lack of being capable to show respect to the poor people is a fault and is a defect. And he is saying treating poor companions or guests with honor and respect. If you have some friends who is poor, you have some companion who is poor, who is poor, and he is a guest maybe, but he is poor. But you should respect the poor. Be pleasant with them. And he said again, poverty is not a vice. Many of the poor are more honorable than the wealthy people, and many of who are penniless but are preferred to be reached. Okay, they are penniless but they are preferred to the rich. So we should be taking care of this manner, that we should be respecting the poor people, even though they don't have maybe much wealth or something. He can be my friend, he can be my guest, whoever he is. So just a couple of things what we discussed. I'm just giving an overview. So far from the social manners, we have talked about respecting and respecting and favoring the elderly people. We talked about how we should work about with the elderly people. We talked about how should we elderly people should be served first. We talked about these manners, and then also we talked about how should we treat with the parents. And today we discussed about how should we tell our family before we going, informing them and respecting the poor. This is the social aspect manners we have covered. And from the chapter of manners of conversation, we talked how and what talk should be done, how to talk, how should be the voice, how should be the tone, and what are the different things if there is someone elder than us, then how should we talk in front of them. We talked about the adab and different etiquettes of debates and discussions. We talked about if someone is holding some other opinion, then how we should react. We talked about not to swear about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We said about answering questions also, that how should we answer a question. If someone is asking me a question, then how should we respond to those questions. So these were the manners of discussions we talked about. And also during the visiting, we talked many things, many aspects in that cases. We talked about how should we be keeping appointment, how should we be, we should, if we're delaying or canceling the appointment, then how should we do that? And if I'm visiting someone's house, then what are the different etiquettes we should be following, controlling the gaze and not looking at something which is not pleasant for them. And then don't sit any place which is not offered to me. How should we remove our shoes? How should I choose the seat? Where should I sit? And these are the aspects we talked about. And then visitor is not an inspector, that he is talking and checking everything. What is this furniture? How is this then? We should not do that. And the timing of the visit we talked about. We talked about how should we greet people. We talked about how should be sitting between two persons. And then also we discussed about the host's duties and the guest's rights, that how should we treat the guest. Especially we talked about different aspects of the towel, the toilet. We should be giving the directions. And then if I'm a guest, I'm the host, I should not be taking some service from the guests. And then he said stay in touch about these things. And he's at the last, he also advised some special things for the sisters, not to do backbiting and don't make a long conversation, because shaitan comes if it is a long conversation or long gossiping. So these are some of the aspects we have already tackled. We have very few things left in the next sessions. Maybe we will be talking about some other aspects of dealing with non-Muslim in social manners. And also we will be talking about some manners of eating, some manners of wedding, and then some manners of visiting the sick. These are the 3 sections left in this book. And if we can complete this book, also there is some other section of condolence. So wedding, condolence, visiting the sick, and I think another one is manners of eating. 4 things: manners of eating, wedding, condolence, and visiting the sick. 4th chapter left. If we can complete this within this lockdown, maybe it would be good. So jazakumullah khairan. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam.